So that's that segment, right? And now we're gonna move into the final segment, the most important segment, the guest segment. If you guys watched what we got going on here, I think a lot of you folks strategically wait a little bit to come on because I see my views the views spike around an hour into the stream because I think you guys are like, okay, who's Chris gonna bring on today? You know, to enlighten us, inform us, encourage us, inspire us, right? And it's someone I can say, so we had this person was on our podcast, and to this day, when I look at the metrics, it's probably our most viewed podcast. It's someone who has really dedicated themselves to not just Haiti, but really a Pan-African vision of where Black people could go, should be. And what's so crazy is this person owns multiple businesses in Haiti. I'm gonna say it again. This person owns multiple businesses in Haiti, investments in Haiti, yet he's not even Haitian. He's an African American. You know, I say like Trump, he's my African Americans. He's African American, doing great stuff in Haiti, and we did just talk about Islam and Muslim, and in fact, he is a Muslim African American, Nation of Islam. That's right, doing great things. And I think already, folks who watched me long enough, you already know once I drop those clues, you already know who is about to come on there. So let me not hide and keep you on suspense anymore. We got Tarik Muhammad in the house. What's up? What's up? You're on mute, brother. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thankful to be living, thankful to be breathing. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Man, listen, I am blessed first and foremost that I got my health, and once you have that, you have everything. But I'm tired because putting a business together, it's not easy, and still juggling and doing everything I have going on in Haiti and on my other business lines. But we're still moving forward, we're still chugging. But I think you can empathize with doing multiple things.
Yeah.
Because I know you have BuzzINCC, which is an outsource company that's doing calls and sales and a bunch of different stuff. You're in the Airbnb business, right? You have a couple different Airbnbs that you're doing. I think last I heard too, you're in the rental moto business. You have a few rental motos that you rent out, and I'm sure you've added 2-3 other business lines, I'm sure, since then. So Tarik, let's take a step back. Break down to the folks who have not had the pleasure to meet you yet. Who are you? Why are you? And what are the different things you got going on in Haiti and across the world?
Yeah, first and foremost, my name is Tarik Muhammad, as you can see on the screen. I would classify myself as more of a social entrepreneur. I love to create businesses around, situations that's going on based around social economics and things of that nature. I'm a businessman. I'm a father. I'm a revolutionary. I'm all about change. I'm all about uplifting my people, not giving them the fish, but teaching them how to fish. That's what it's all about. So yeah, man, that's pretty much me. I love creating opportunities, man.
Nice. Now, run through your business lines. First, talk about BuzzINCC. I know that's the flagship. That's you're employing dozens. I mean, break that down. Let folks know what you're doing. And
all right. So with BuzzINCC, the whole name is Buzz International Network Communication Center. Started it roughly around 3 years to be July. So we still in a 2-year mark, 3 years to be July. For those who don't know, before I start doing business in Haiti, I actually met with SeeJeanty in Miami. We sat down, we talked, and he gave me ideas and ways to maneuver around in Haiti, the things I need to look out for, the things that I would need to implement in the business. So really just helping me avoid the pitfalls. So he did a great job at that. I definitely appreciate you for that, Chris. So Buzz International Network Communication Center, we started 2.5 years ago with 6 individuals. We started in a small apartment, working basic internet, going through the problems, the ups and downs, such as power issues, internet issue. It was a lot. It was a lot of obstacles we had to deal with. We started with 5. Now, all praise due to the Most High, man. We're at 80 82, 83 individuals, if I'm not mistaken. We have clients international as well as domestic. I know you guys know who NatCom is. We're actually a service provider for NatCom, so we do sales. So not only are we able to create opportunities for individuals who speak English, right? Speak English, French, and Creole in Haiti, but now being that we do have local clients, we're able to give opportunities to the masses of the people. And we actually have another account coming with NatCom as well. So that's who we are, man. We're about creating opportunities. We're about putting our people to work so they could be off these streets and being productive to take the country to the next level. That's what it's about.
So two things I want to say. First, I don't. A lot of folks DM me. I don't respond to. I respond to a very small percentage of them, just because there's lanes and avenues that I do respond in that lane. Those, and this is, by the way, when you reached out, I didn't have those lanes, by the way, so I'll just blanketly not really respond much to folks. Usually, except to say, maybe if there's a question, I did this video already. Like, the vast majority of folks who reach out to me, I did videos on what they're asking. So go watch this video, especially because I had a series for a while called On nous parler, which I was just breaking down in detail different things. And then on top of that, before I produce these other lanes, I created my book. The book was a combination of what a lot of people were asking for, and I was like, all right, cool. Again, my mission at the end of the day is to help. But at the same time, too, I'm an entrepreneur first. I'm running my businesses. I can't dedicate so much time to meeting everyone. And so I created the book, and then I create these different avenues where I peel myself away, for the support of what a lot of people, for the time I provide them, they support financially SeeJeanty Media. So SeeJeanty Media can do more stuff, but at the time I didn't even have any of all those things. I just, something about the way you DM'd me, and I was like, something, when real recognizes real is the short of it. And so I'm like, this dude isn't a talker. I just, the way he's already expressed, and the way he's obviously presented what he's doing, it isn't an idea. It isn't some guy, some naive guy who just saw something. No, he's actually in the process. Like that's what made me respond. Like, you were actively in the process. Like, you had said something to say, maybe you've been to Haiti or something like that. I was like, okay, this guy is really, he's really moving. He's really doing it. So let me reach out. And on top of that, it was in my domain, because I'm still in outsourcing, right. So like, okay, well, it's, so maybe it might be even a way for us to collaborate. That's another thing people don't really understand is, if you really want a response from most people, you have to do it in a way that sort of you can try to interweave their interests with your interests, right? And they can see, okay, well, there's the interest, there's where we can match up and potentially work together. And so I had already saw that as well. So those two things had me respond, and I'm glad I did, and I'm so excited, so happy to see over time I was right. You were who I thought you were. You're an impactor. You're a doer. So I'm happy about that. And the other thing that's really cool about BuzzINCC is, most people who come in to do outsourcing, they do inbound calls, customer service, stuff like that. But the secret sauce of what you do is you design you do everything though. Don't get me wrong, you do inbound calls and customer service. But the differentiator of what you do is you specialize a program where you find Haitians who speak good English, who are go-getters, who, it's a commission model, but I've seen videos where you've paid out commissions thousands of dollars US to your agent. This is our guy. I remember that video. Here's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And the guy gets it, right? So you're making real money to change the impact of the direction of their lives. But it's a sales outbound entity where you're doing calls for different venues. I know one line is wholesale real estate was one for a while. I know for NatCom you're doing different things in terms of sales as well.
Outbound as well.
So that's not too common. So tell us about that. I don't know. What's the most common obstacle do you have because even Haitians, we don't have that culturally. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, because maybe the culture here in America, people are so adverse because they've experienced being called 5 p.m. Before dinner, and I don't want to be that guy. Maybe it's easier because I don't know. Tell us about that, Tarik.
Yeah, it's a market that's untapped in Haiti when we're talking about the BPO, which is business process outsourcing. The market is untapped, man. It's a lot of opportunities. But one thing I do know about Haiti and the Haitians, we sell everything, man. If you walk in the streets, somebody trying to sell something. Everything is a negotiation. You can believe me. They gonna start at what 1,000 good, 2,000-3,000 good, and you got to negotiate to get it down lower. So it's already built in us anyway. It's built in us, but all we're doing, man, is just creating an opportunity for the individuals to do what they do best.
Yeah.
We mold them. We work on the mindset and things of that nature. We have a lot of team meetings. We have a lot of one-on-ones. We talk about life, family. We talk about what's going on in the world, financial literacy. It's other individuals in the company who have businesses, so we do what we can to help them out as well. So it's not only, okay, you're working with us, that's it. No, we're looking to help those individuals do business because we truly believe that we want to create a domino effect, and we want leaders to create other leaders. That's what's going to get the country to the next level. So we just bringing out what we already do, man.
And I had the opportunity to because for a bit of a time there, Haiti Biz News was actually working out of. Well, most folks don't think I shared this, but Haiti Biz News was working out of Tarik's one of Tarik's spaces because at the time we were going through a gas crisis, and so that employee couldn't come to our studio, and we really wanted to leverage her because her English was phenomenal and she had a different look and she's presentable. And we really, Melissa, by the way, if you guys who remember watching Haiti Biz News. And so, but really because of the gas crisis, we're like, okay, listen, we adapt. Winners adapt themselves, right, to the situation. And so literally we went ahead and transitioned to where she was, which was Tarik. And Tarik was generous enough to etch out a space for us, and we're able to very quickly. I try to not just inconvenience Tarik's operation too much, but within like 15 minutes ish, 20 minutes, we try to record the episode. And so, but my time and in the first few episodes, I was there, and so I can tell you firsthand, I was there. I saw how every day you had team meetings before the day started. Every day it was about grabbing a book and sharing, a chapter out that book that inspired, or grabbing a video online and watching that video where they're talking about entrepreneurship or talking about something that's enlightening the mind of and bringing something new to the team to encourage them, or just having just these different conversations about finances, about anything and everything. And so it's not, when Tarik says, I think a lot of you guys who may be watching this who worked corporate America, Tarik is saying things that corporate America may have said, but like, no, Tarik's really doing it in the way that it should be done, and bringing that information to a group of usually young-ish Haitians that have never really experienced those sort of concepts before, right? And I was like, man, Tarik is really about saying it. When everything he's saying, he's really truly doing, right? So hats off to you, Tarik. So let's talk about your other business lines. So how do you see the Airbnb business, especially right now with all the things? How's that going? What sort of got you thinking about doing Airbnb in Haiti? Because that's another business line that I think a lot of folks should think about doing. If they have, a lot of folks have property from their family and from it may be a mom or dad or a cousin or uncle or something, and they could get into that somehow. So tell us about that. How is your Airbnb business going, and how did you get into that?
Yeah, well, how I got into it was because when I first was coming to Haiti, I used to rent Airbnbs. And when I went on the Airbnb site, I noticed that the individual who I was renting from was always booked. So I'm like, hold on, let me do some comparables. I had to do comparables on the Airbnb because there's no MLS or anything in Haiti. So I went on the Airbnb looking at different locations, and I noticed that in a particular area of Petronville, it seems to be a hot spot for the tourists that comes in. and the diaspora that comes into Haiti, a lot of individuals love to be in the Petronville area. So I thought like, hey, why not? Let me give it a shot. Let me give it a shot to make some extra passive income and things of that nature. So what I did is a strategy, what they call in real estate investment is called arbitrage. And what that means is you don't have to physically own the property. Let me give you an example. You get a property, you pay $300 for rent, somewhere around those lines. You pay it, you have a conversation with the owner, let them know, hey, I'm in the country from time to time. Is it okay if I pay you this amount yearly? And is it okay if I have certain individuals, guests to come in? As long as you have that understanding with the owner, then hey, you get the property where you need it to be. 2022 standards, make sure it's nice. Make sure the amenities are on point, the artwork is there, and just pretty much cater to the needs of the things you like and you know that other individuals will like. Put it on Airbnb, and it's gonna work, man. Especially in that Petronville area. It's a high area, so it's doing great. It's doing wonderful.
Nice. And
I just dropped some jewels for y'all. Now I just gave y'all some knowledge.
to run back what Tarik said, so Tarik doesn't own the buildings, right? The apartments he's renting out. He's renting out. What he does is, if I understand, you rent out those apartments yourself for amount. These things range for a few $1,000s a year, right? And then you turn around and then you put on Airbnb. You do, you design these apartments out really nice, and then you put them on Airbnb and you make a return. You make your money back and more, right? Over the course of that year, it probably takes you maybe 2 months to recoup your actual rental costs, but then the next 10 months you're just making profit, right? And even let's clear up something right now. Even with everything going on with kidnapping and all this stuff and instability, what's your percentage occupancy rate?
I would say minimum is 20 days per month.
20 days, 20 divided by 30. You guys do the math, right? That's a pretty darn high occupancy rate. Despite what's going on.
And think about it, Chris, not to cut you off, but think about it. If the individual is coming to Haiti and they're looking to stay 30 days, 15, 20 days, if you're staying at these hotels, you're paying roughly around, $120 a night. If you want a nice one, you're paying $120, $130 a night. With us, you're paying anywhere from $35 to $45 a night. So you're saving a lot of money, and you still have the nice amenities. You're in a safe environment. And not only that, we know the hotels, you could typically only bring one guest to your room. So if you're coming to visit your family, wouldn't you want your family, 5, 6, 7 individuals to come in and you can cook the legume and the bon free and all this stuff with your family?
Yep.
So these the benefits, and that's all business is. All business is catering to the needs, what's going on in that society. It's not as complicated as we make it seem. Yep. It's just catering to the needs. That's it.
I love it. Again, and that's something, again, I know many folks who are watching, they have property that's just kind of scratching their head. What can I do with it? That's an idea. Put it on Airbnb. Doesn't take much. You just need one trusted person, to help with the logistics. Sometimes if you're not physically there to able to do it, maybe have a vehicle to help pick up folks from the airport, but you can get that. You can get a rental car and stuff like that. And then there's companies like Taxi Plus that still exist that can help you facilitate those things. And so, hats off to that. And I guess the other business line, your moto business, I think that's a more simpler business model. You buy motos and then you rent them out to other moto drivers who need a moto but are in a position to buy their own.
Correct.
How did you get into that? Like what got into into your ear? What birdie got into your ear that told you to get in that business line?
Yeah, it's actually in your book. It's in your book. Then my girl mentioned it to me as well. A few other individuals mentioned it, so I'm like, hey, let's give it a try. And it's another way to create opportunities for the locals to be able to get in there and not just only rent and lease from you forever, but it's a way where you can make passive income as the individual leasing the moto, and it's a way for the actual driver to become an owner, right? Because after a year, they actually become the owner of the motorcycle. So that's what it's all about. It's just about creating opportunity. So that's how I actually got into that particular business.
Nice. Again, you know, guys, those who come to Haiti, you fly in, you see all these moto drivers, and you're like, you know, a lot of folks will take this perspective of, oh man, they get annoyed. Look at all these young men, or look at all these darn moto drivers taking up the road. But a true businessman sees that and sees opportunity. He sees, oh, there's a lot of people driving motorcycles.
Exactly.
Maybe there's money in it, right? So that's the difference between a regular 9 to 5 employee and a true entrepreneur businessman. An entrepreneur is always looking at how exactly money can be made, right? And seeing opportunities where everyone sees problems and annoyances and nuance. The true entrepreneur, true businessman just sees dollar signs, sees opportunities, and how to turn that sucker around. So hats off, and thanks for reminding me that it was a business idea.
Exactly.
In the book, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, right? And folks do check out that book. It's on SeeJeanty.com. Go to SeeJeanty.com, shop, and you see it. So is there any new, I know it's been a while since we talked, Tarik. I'm sure you're a guy who's always, any new business lines in Haiti in particular?
Definitely, man. Right now we're in Haiti, we're viewing land. We have a vision of 10,000 people minimum, providing jobs and opportunities and future leaders. So we're actually looking for land to build our operation from the ground up. So that's something that we're scouting. One of the most important things is to make sure that the fiber, as you was mentioning earlier, that the actual location have the fiber internet. So we're looking at a few different locations around the country. We're looking to expand, open up different branches, the Buzz International Network Communication Center as well, in Haiti and outside of Haiti. Africa just came back from Ghana recently, and there's a need for our people over there as well, right? There's also a need. So it's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on, but I'm just grateful. To be able to do it, bro. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and again, the big thing with you is that Pan-African vision, right? I know it's not, Haiti. We just are fortunate that you decided that, okay, Haiti's it's right next door. Like, why not do something? But I know your vision is really a Pan-African vision. Talk to us about that. Where do you see yourself in especially in that plight of Black people across the world and us moving forward?
I see myself on the front lines. I see myself on the front lines really building that bridge, because that's what it's all about. As the flag say, unity makes strength. And as you mentioned earlier in this segment, you stated, hey, you have to build a team. You have to have a team of similar-minded individuals to be able to fulfill this vision. So being in the front lines, aligning with other individuals who see the vision for us to come together and unite and really do for ourselves. Think for ourselves, create more businesses and create platforms for our individuals to thrive. Because it's so many individuals, man, that I receive resumes from who have top line degrees, bachelor degrees, and all type of things. And they just don't have the platform. So it's up to us, people like myself, people like yourself, to really create the platforms for our brightest minds to shine. Because in all actuality, when we look at the latest technologies that's being created in the world, it's usually by us, but we not getting the credit for it. Instead, these other Fortune 500s getting the credit for it when it's us doing it. So being in the front lines, creating those platforms, we need schools, we need hospitals, we need free education. Bro, I could go on and on about the vision and the plan. At this moment, 2022 is just about executing. It's about creating our own table instead of being on the menu, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we building. We building our own table so we can do for ourselves and our people.
And now, anyone who sees your name, Tarik Muhammad, that's also a nod to Islam, right? Now, just to clarify, Nation of Islam, correct, or is another sect? I know what it is, but
Nation
of Islam. Does Nation of Islam have an official mosque, official presence in Haiti?
Yeah,
I know. Our honorable Louis Farrakhan
Farrakhan, yes.
did visit at some point. I remember that was a big deal. But does it have a branch here yet?
Yes. The individual is actually one of my spiritual mentors, Brother Patrick Muhammad. He's actually over this segment as far as like in Miami, Haiti, the Caribbeans, and it's
Nice.
actually another individual there doing powerful things by the name of Joseph McIndow, and he was actually the one doing the translation for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he spoke after the earthquake with him and Wycliffe. So yeah, it's definitely some presence in Haiti.
Nice. Now, as I mentioned in the Peon episode, there is there are Muslim mosques and there are Muslims in Haiti. Um, I don't know what I gotta ask. What's your thoughts on that? The fact that there are some mosques already, and do you think there are some benefits that Haitians can get by considering Islam as a religion? What are your thoughts?
I think everyone could benefit from being closer to God, because that's really what it's all about. It's all about being closer to God, man. Whatever religion it is, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whatever religion it may be, as long as you live your life in righteousness and you about doing for yourself and serving the world, serving all people, it's no problem at all. So yes, we can definitely get benefits from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as well, as far as do for self, think for self, buying land, understanding the benefits of owning assets, not being consumers. So all these things is something that we all can apply.
Love
100%.
it, love it, love it.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's one thing that I lived in Chicago for a while, and I can tell you one area of Chicago that uh, does very well is that South Shore area, that area near where Nation of Islam operates in Chicago. Probably my biggest regret is I never visited, and I don't know why. Why I wasn't too big in religion. I'm spiritual, but not too big in religion. So I don't think I visited any churches actually. My whole 4 or 5 years living up in Chicago,
Okay.
but I do regret not visiting. At least one, Saturday, service, weekend service of and seeing Louis Farrakhan speak
Yeah.
would have been great. But driving through those areas, it's clear that there's commerce happening. There's almost a bubble in that area, and because of the influence of the Nation of Islam, focused on business, focused on self.
Right.
There's security there in the couple blocks around. There's security there. There's gang banging and stuff happening
No.
in those areas. And so there's that there's proof to the mantra of what's happening, and especially how it could impact. And I've always said this too. I said, the biggest, Haitian, so there's a big mark on Haiti's back for
Correct.
what we symbolize. What we're able to do in 1804 is always going to be a threat to the powers that be, right? Because we overturn not just a racial hierarchy, right? That was still in effect. I mean, America didn't abolish slavery until like 1860s or something like that, right?
Right.
60 years in the future, right? So 1804. So not only did we overturn a racial structure that was, keeping many folks down, but we overturned a economic structure.
Correct.
The way capitalism was defined was the capital was black bodies.
Yeah.
We overturned a system, economics, and that's one thing that overturned racial structure, but to overturn the capital structure is even more egregious, and why honestly we're in 2022 and we're still suffering the penalties of that. But the way forward, right?
Yeah.
For many, for black people across the world, first is Haiti to be successful, right? To serve as a bastion of being different and doing things differently can cause success, right? But I always said an important lane for that to happen, not just in Haiti but in Africa, is African Americans, and so I shared all that just to say, yeah, Haiti has a big target on its back, but a bigger target on the back of a segment of people is African Americans in America, right? Because the day is not just a 20 or 10% of African Americans who are in a situation where they can impact because they've changed their mindsets and they've gotten a degree of monetary independence to be able to start saying, okay, well, let me not just look for today, but let me start seeing what we can do around the world. The day that we have a wave, because that's what would happen. The
Right.
day that African Americans as a whole are able or have the freedom to express themselves with the time that economic independence provides. That's a
Right.
dangerous time, man. It's a dangerous time because we're going to start looking back and saying, wait a minute, what about Ghana? What about Africa? What about Haiti? What about
Right.
Africa as a whole? You know, what can we start doing? How can we start working together? And they'll become from a situation of being more economically endowed than anywhere they're going because they come
Right.
from America, right?
Yeah.
And so do you understand why, you know, we have structures in place that take so many of our black men to jail? The pipeline from
Correct.
underinvesting in our communities. Because I grew up in America. I grew up in South Florida. I grew up in an area that was low income, right? And I saw it for myself. I saw how, you know, these low incomes are police stated, right? They're underinvested, and the goal really is to really, you know, structurally keep folks in a state where they are, right?
Correct.
And I've always said, you know, the day that that can be overcome, it's a whole new day. and,
Yeah.
and I'm encouraged by people like you, Tarik, who show me that, who, like, you know, the day that we can get more Tariks, and imagine that we get 1,000 more Tariks, African Americans, who are investing in Haiti, right? How quickly our country would turn around, how quickly Ghana could become a new Israel for black people, how Nigeria could also benefit from that, how Cameroon and South Africa and all these different countries, Benin, all these different countries could benefit from, you know, more of us being in a situation where we can turn around and impact and invest and do different things. I mean, I
Exactly.
think that really is a danger, and that's where I know, you know, a lot of people ask, how does Haiti change? And I never share that. I never share that aspect of, yeah, we Haitians need to get our acts together, but also we need help, and we need
Yeah.
help from other people who share our history, right? Like African Americans, right?
Right.
What do you think about that, Tyreek?
No, I fully you right on point with it, man. You 100% correct. For an example, you go to a place like you read about South Africa, and you read about, you know, Cape Town and things of that nature. It's beautiful. Why? Because the Europeans who settled in that area, they brought over their technology, they brought over their knowledge, and they created their own infrastructure and built for themselves. So us right here in the United States, we have the access to this technology. We have the access to the information. So it's our role to diversify our investments and invest in places like Haiti, who sacrifice and put their life on the line, not only for the individuals in Haiti, but for us all across the world. So Haiti, to us, black people, Africans, or whatever you want to classify yourself as, should be as Israel is to the Jewish. To me, it is. It's the first black free republic. Anywhere I go in the world, I'm talking about 1804, because even for an example in Ghana, they didn't know about it. So I pulled out the 1804 documentary, like, here, this was going on. So I'm always educating on Haiti. So Haiti is a place that we definitely need to focus on. And I have this conversation all the time. The population is somewhere around 12 million, 13 million. So if the so-called power structure is fighting so hard to keep 12 to 13 million individuals down, that must mean they know the power. They know the power in those individuals who reside right there in Haiti. The problem is we don't. We haven't tapped into that higher level of knowledge of thyself. We haven't dug deep into our history to really understand why these things are going on. So once that happened, man, we'll start to see a change. But at the same time, I apologize. I went out. Somebody called.
I just had the same thing happen to me. It's all good.
I apologize about that. But at the same time, man, it's really going to start with us, Chris, and we have to continue to keep putting in massive action and get other individuals to put in a massive action as well, man. It's enough talking. It's just really about doing. The blueprint is there. It's a lot of podcasts. It's a lot of things you can watch if you want to understand the history. But it's time to do it, man. You know, it's walls that's being built that's trying to keep us outside of getting to certain locations. And you can read up on that. So I'm not gonna sit here and call names out and go over this, but it's walls that's being built to keep us from going to these locations. So we need to stay where we at, and we need to build our own, man, and stop running away from what you feel is a problem. It's opportunities there. And that's why everybody besides us investing in Haiti. If there wasn't no opportunities there, why everybody else investing in it?
Seriously, I love that comment. Seriously, like when you look around, like who's investing? It's everyone but Haitians, right? So but Haitians are too busy. Well, somebody said not to, but no one's stopping them, and they're doing it. I love it. I love that comment, man. You're right.
We're our own worst enemy, man. So we really need to have deep level conversations, and then keep executing, keep banging. And that's what it's about, bro. It's a beautiful risk. That's what I call it, a beautiful risk.
Yep. Man, listen, I don't want to end the conversation. I want to keep this going, but I know you're a busy man, and we've been and I'm pushing 2 hours on a live stream currently. Yeah. Listen, Tarik, how can folks contact you? You know, in terms of, well, first off, you want people to just contact like that. So what businesses do you want folks to contact you about, and how do you want to engage? Like, what do you want folks who, have a particular business and they could leverage a call outsource out? Like, how do you want folks to contact you, and for what?
Okay. Well, I would say you can go to our website. That's www.BuzzINCC.com. That's B as in boy, U, Z, C, I, N as in Nancy, CC.com. For individuals who's looking for opportunities, who looking for an employment, you can actually fill out an application right there on our website in our career section. Reach out to us. There's already a lot of individuals who have been reaching out from your show, Chris. Like, hey, man, I saw you on the SeeJeanty show, and I'm looking for a job. So, hey, complete your application. We will reach out to you in 24 to 48 hours. We'll get in contact with you, our supervisors. I have a great team there, man. I'm thankful for the team I have there. I have a wonderful team out there in Haiti. The whole leadership staff, every individual. If you want to contact me, you can reach out to me on official Tarik Muhammad, and that's all across the board. That's on Instagram, that's on Twitter, and Facebook is Tarik Muhammad. You can reach out to me.
I love it. In fact, while you're talking, I think I'll pull up that episode that we had you. And what's so funny about this episode is that, I mean, for the beginning, is that, for a long time I was asking, I was like, Tarik, when are you gonna let me do your episode, man? Like, hold on, I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right, because initially, as you said, you started in a small apartment, and you had it nicely set up. To me, you had it nicely set up. I thought you were ready, but you're like, nah, I got a bigger. So I want to inspire them. I want to really show them, like, get that next level. And so when you got to this place, and you're like, all right, Chris, I think we're ready. And so let me jump ahead here, because I was right in front of the door. And by the way, you've moved since. You're now in a different spot, looks even better. But when you moved here, like, let's do it. And then so, yeah, like, let me I was so happy to advertisement, which I'm not mad about. This is what pays the bills. So I ain't too mad about ads.
Yeah.
But there we go. And we're able to show folks what you got going on. And this was just, again, this is what 20-ish folks or 30-ish folks across 2 different shifts. You've now doubled that number in your new spot, right? And so that's a blessing. And so that's what Tarik was mentioning. Folks have saw that episode and reached out to it. So I love it. And but yeah, let me pause that. And so that's so Buzz Inc. is how folks. I put the website. Let me just put on the screen real quick for folks to see easily. www.buzzinc.com, right? And do check out that video. If you type in SeeJeanty and Buzz Inc., that should also bring up that episode. You can see a little more detail with how his operation, at least at the time, has been upgraded. We're gonna have to do a follow up. Probably before the end of the year, we'll do a follow up to let folks know how you're growing, how you're moving. You know what I mean? But check out the website. If you have a company that could use his services, take a look at it. If you're someone looking for a job, take a look at that as well. Of Haitian descent, looking for work. And so Tarik, I don't know. I don't want to end the conversation, but I think it's clear to folks. We need more folks like you. I think and I will say this, if Tarik, who's African American, who I'll be honest, Tarik doesn't speak that much Creole, right? Tarik, you don't speak that much Creole, but yet he's navigating and doing incredible work in Haiti. What's your excuse, right? What's your excuse? Who you speak Creole fluently, and you rep the Haitian flag since the age of 10. You're super Haitian. But how are you impacting and helping Haiti outside of Flag Day? Probably not much. Meanwhile, we got Tarik, who's in Haiti all the time, who's building businesses, employing 80 plus Haitians, and has never allowed that excuse of, oh, Haiti's too dangerous. Oh, Haiti is too difficult. And because he didn't come in it with that mindset, he's seeing success, he's seeing greatness, and he's moving forward, right? And that's something I think we all can feel encouraged about and find inspiration for. So that's why I was so happy to have Tarik here on the episode. I knew it was going to be a value-added conversation. So thank you, Tarik. Any final words, brother?
It's all love. It's always all love to be on here speaking. You have a great community that you put together, man. You get a lot of love and support. So anytime that I can have this conversation about, uplifting ourselves, uplifting our people, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The last thing I really want to say, I'm gonna keep it short. Follow what the flags say, man. Like I don't have to come and reinvent the wheel. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. The flags say unity makes strength. It's simple as that. Let's just do what we gotta do, man. If you shouldn't be okay with seeing our people, living the way we live. You shouldn't be okay with our babies going through what they're going through, where they can't even go to school because of it. It's this going on in the streets, that's going on in the streets. You should want to do something about it. We should want to do something about it. I don't care if you feel like you Haitian, you Jamaican, you African American, whatever you want to classify yourself as. Our origins is we all African. Before we came to Haiti, we was African. Before we came to the United States, we was African. And so forth and so on. So we all one. We bleed the same blood. And it's time to really make a real change, man. Not by talking, creating businesses, education, and so forth and so on. So these are the last words I want to leave. And if you really about making a change, reach out to me. I'm always open to having that conversation of what we can invest in, how much land we can buy, what type of food we can grow. This is what it's about. Anything else, it really don't matter. So I want to leave y'all with that, man.
Boom. I love it. And I got someone asking, what's your IG? What's your IG? Is it Tarik?
Official Tarik Muhammad.
Okay. If you can type that, I don't want to mess up. I'm known to mess up names and stuff. So go ahead and type that in the chat, and then I'll try to copy paste it and re-put it up. But listen, I tell you what, that I'm ready to go. Listen, I felt as if I was on the battlefield, speaking to one of Dessalines' generals there. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, get on that battlefield and re-independendize Haiti. I don't know about you guys. So thank you so much, Tarik, for those words, man.
No problem.
Much appreciated. Let's keep pushing. Haiti's not easy. Trust me, even during that time I mentioned when I was in your office. I know we were dealing with gas shortages, and the power was about to be cut off, and, because they were using generators, but yet we were still having to figure out ways to adapt and move forward. Haiti is not an easy environment, but it's an environment that we must be successful in whatever the challenges that are put ahead of us. And so, we're finding lanes, we're moving forward. Let's keep doing that. I continue to wish your business the utmost success, the utmost growth. And as you know, I'm always around, Tarik, to lend a hand in whatever capacity, and I know it's vice versa for you. So we'll keep pushing.
Chris,
what we got to do.
Let me say this, Chris, man.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people probably look at me like I'm crazy for what I'm about to say, but I feel more free in Haiti than I feel anywhere else in the world. When I step foot off that plane, I feel real. I feel home. I'm good. I'm around my people. I'm in the streets walking around. No problems, no fear at all about somebody doing something to me or this going to happen. If something is meant to happen to you, it's going to happen anywhere in the world. Believe me, there's nothing we can do to control it. I wake up, I see my people, it's all love. And I think they can feel that love too. I think that's why nothing never happens. So when you get over there, spread that love. Spread that love, man. We got to love each other. That's what it's all about. It's no fear at all. I love Haiti. I love it. And if you didn't visit in 10, 15, 20 years, and because you're talking about what's going on in the streets, I'm telling you, I'm always back and forth. Every month.
And you be in the taps, you be making videos. I'm on the back of a moto. Low key, like, listen, I'm not gonna be the one that tells some real naive, non-thinking person who walks around like it's New York, and with their money out there while screaming out I'm American, to go to Haiti. I'm not gonna be the one. If people ask me, I leave that unresponded to. But I just know, for example, when I was in Haiti 2 weeks ago, I'm driving. I own a motorcycle.
I saw that.
I'm driving. I'm in my motorcycle driving around. At the same time, people are saying, "Crystal, careful, it's kidnapping, bro. Left and right. I don't know. Should I go? My people are telling me, should I?" I leave those people out ignore, because I know when I'm in Haiti, I'm at home, man. I don't know what y'all talking about. What news y'all here listening from? I'm in Haiti. I'm down. Listen, I'm moving up and down. I'm in the street. I'm out late. I'm doing what I don't share this because I don't want people to think I'm telling them to do the same thing and something happens. And now it's SeeJeanty told me to, and now I just had to pay a ransom for da 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 da. I'm not telling you do what I do. I'm just telling you when I'm in Haiti, I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what y'all talking about. Yeah. Like, I'm doing everything I want to do, can't pose, as they say, right? So don't do as I do. Do you? I just know I'm in Haiti every other week, living a great life, unbothered, right? Because yes, there's pockets where things are tough. Like, I'm not saying I do the same thing if I was in Matissa, but the whole country is in Matissa.
Exactly.
Anyways, we'll leave it at that. Tarik, I appreciate you, sir. Always a pleasure to have you on. We're definitely going to have you come back before the end of the year as a repeat guest. We love having you on, man. It's always a pleasure, always encouraging. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Love it, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
Likewise. You take care, bro.
Peace.